everybody, and welcome back to 369 Game Design. Today I'm going to be talking about version control and how to implement it with GitHub and in Unity. Version control is very important into your product that you're actually generating at this moment in time. Even though you're saving in your game that you're developing, something can go wrong. Your hardware can fail, you can do a coding mistake, inadvertently delete something, and it has a serious impact. And personally, I have spent a large amount of time recreating a product from scratch because I did something. And if I had version control at the time, I would have been able to get back up and running sooner than I did previously. Please remember to click the like and subscribe button, and let's get started. There are a large number of version control packages that you can use. The one I have chosen is GitHub. I found it very useful and easy to use with my beginner status. The first thing that you need to do is go to the website github.com. I'll have the link in the comment section below. So if you don't have an account already, you need to create an account and log in. And once you log in, you should have a button on the left hand side called New. And the first thing that you need to do is create a new repository. So you would click the New button. It would then open up what you would like to call your repository, and in this section I would like to call it test1 for this moment. Enter a description, testing GitHub. I choose whether you'd like it to be public or private. I include a README file, and the most important step that I found is the Git Ignore. The Git Ignore will prevent certain files from being transferred from your PC and saved into the cloud. A number of the files that Unity has, library files, backup files, etc., are not required when you actually recreate the project later on. So you can safely ignore them. And thankfully GitHub have a Git Ignore file that you can actually use to manage this accordingly. So you would select the Git Ignore template, go down and find the one that's viable for you, which in our case would be Unity, and select it and create repository. It will then create the repository on the site that you can then clone to your local desktop. The next step that you have to do is to open your GitHub desktop. I've provided the link to find the software in the comment section below. From there, you would click on File, Clone Repository, and then find your repository in the list as to which one you want, and the local path where you'd like to save it, and then click Clone. It will then clone it to your local hard drive. We'll just wait for this to finish, and it's currently now cloned a copy of what was on the cloud onto your local hard drive. Once the clone has been completed, the next step is to open your Unity hub and begin creating a brand new project that would actually go into the location that you just cloned the repository to. In this example, I've set the universal render pipeline for what I would like to do. I've given my project name a project name of test GitHub, and the location is the location of the clone storage that I created from GitHub. And then you would click create, and Unity will go off and create. I'm going to pause at this moment and let it continue until Unity is finished creating the template. As can be seen now, Unity is finished creating the project with the sample scene, and everything is ready for me to begin my project work. What I would do now is to exit of the Unity application in order to make the initial commit into GitHub. So you would file and exit out, etc. If you would go to the directory structure of where you saved your project, you'll see that you don't have a file extension called .git, which shows that it's part of the Git cloning repository, and your project with it called test GitHub is created there as well, with all its assets, libraries, and everything else. Opening up the GitHub desktop again, you'll see that the repository is selected as test1, and as you can see, it's registered that a whole lot of new files have been created. These are your project files that came from Unity when it created the base project. You need to make an initial commit as soon as possible, so you would go into the summary and, for example, type a initial commit as what was the initial things you did. From there, commit to the main, and it will then start the process to upload all the information into the cloud. This will take a few minutes on the first time around because of the large amount of data that has to commit. Once the initial commit has been done, it pops up a screen that says push commits to the original remote. This is in order to actually finalize the commit into the GitHub repository. So what you then do is click push origin, and as you can see at the top, it says that it's pushing the data up into the cloud. Initially, the first time around, this will also take some time, but it has a progress indication. You can actually see how far it goes. I'll be pausing at this moment until this completes. At this point, you have now successfully created source control versioning in your Unity project. So as a standard for myself, whenever I get to a comfortable point in my game that I'm developing, I make sure that I save everything, quit out of Unity, and commit up into the hub to make sure that I have a stable point that I can refer back to at any point in time. And I have done on a number of occasions. So for example, just to see the process, if I was in Unity to go to game object, create an object for example, and create a cylinder in the game view, you can see a cylinder has been created. So if I then save out and quit out of Unity, and then have a look at my GitHub Desktop, you'll see that it has referenced that there is a new work being done within Unity and is ready to save. So I can create a comment and commit it into the cloud. And this will be much quicker due to the fact that there's very much less that it has to actually do. And then you can push it into the cloud, and once it's done, you are comfortable knowing that everything that you have saved in your project is now saved offline and can be recovered in the event of a power failure, accidental deletion, or something else that has gone wrong in your project. Thank you very much for spending this time with me, and I do hope that this has been helpful in some way. Please remember to continue to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.